I'm gonna say it so none of y'all have to. I'm wearing the shirt. It's a good shirt. Stop dragging me. Also, it's February and it was warm enough for me to wear a tank top today, but global warming isn't real apparently. So hello everyone, today is gonna be another book haul. Do you hate me? I hate me. I know for a fact it's gonna slow down after this, but just the holidays with Black Friday, with Christmas, a lot was happening. The reason why I'm getting so many books lately is because Book Outlet has been having so many sales recently. If I hadn't placed a Book Outlet order, I'd probably only be showing you like 5 books, so this is entirely Book Outlet's fault. Thanks guys. In addition to Book Outlet books, I have some books for trade to show you. I got a couple of things from publishers and we have a cool giveaway at the end, so stay tuned. That was the most cliche thing I've ever said in my entire life. Let's just start. Hi everyone, I'm coming to you belatedly because I forgot to include a bit of information. Disclaimer, this video is sponsored by Book Outlet. What that means is that they send me money and gift cards to their website in order to make purchases and show them on my channel. It does not affect my opinion about them. I've loved them before they sponsored me and I will continue to love them after they sponsor me. I just wanted to clear that up before we get into the video. Moving along. So like I said, I still have Christmas presents here to talk about. I had a friend get me a present for my Amazon wishlist, but it's shipped to this address, so I wasn't able to get it until January, but that book is Orange by Ishigo Takano. My friend Sydney got this for me, so thank you Sydney if you're watching this. I had this on my wish list because I've never read a manga before and I've heard great things about this one, but I immediately got it in the mail and I was like, it's the wrong direction. I don't know. How was class?
Ugh.
Same. I don't know how I'm gonna approach this just because I've read graphic novels before and that took a little bit to get used to, knowing like, okay, you read left to right, it's fine. But then these are right to left and they're backwards and it's gonna take me a hot minute to get used to this, but I am excited to try out this format of book. I know a lot of my friends read manga and they haul it all the time, so if I end up liking this, hopefully this is gonna be a good entry point to that genre because I've heard, great grammar. I've heard that there's a lot of really great manga series out there. Moving onward. Once again, sticking to the theme of things that I am hauling 3 months late, I was sent the November box. November. From Illumicrate, and the book inside that was The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. I have a whole unboxing where I unearthed this. If you want to go check that one out, I also got some other stuff with this. But this is a sci-fi book, and that is all I could tell you about it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about all the books that I got from Book Outlet next. I already unboxed it and threw away the box, so I can't pretend like I'm unboxing it for the first time. But hey, good books. I got 11 books this time. I'm just gonna try and get through them because a lot of these I just bought off a whim and I may not know a bunch about them. Are you surprised? The first book I got is American Girls by Alison Umiger. It sounds like Ermigerd. The reason I bought this is because my friend Monica from She Might Be Monica read this book last year and it made it to her favorites list, and Monica is like, if she says something's good, you know it's gonna be good. You know, she's just one of those types of booktubers. For me at least. This book just has a really neat cover and I think the concept is really cool. All I know is that this is about a 15-year-old girl who steals her parents' credit card and then runs off to LA to go live with her step or half something sister, and something about researching Manson murders and how LA life isn't as glamorous as it sounds. The concept of this book combined with the fact that Monica said it was really good, I'm very eager to read this. And it was like $5, so why not? Next I got this book completely on a whim. I had never heard of this book before, but the cover caught my attention. It's called The Season of Migration by Nellie Herman. I saw this cover and I was like, nice, so I clicked on it and the description absolutely sucked me in. I had to have it. I'm just gonna read to you the description that I read and hope that it's as exciting to you as it was to me. Vincent van Gogh is one of the most popular painters of all time, yet we know very little about the difficult period of his youth when he and his brother Theo broke off all contact. So this is a book set in 1878 about a period of Van Gogh's life that is very sparsely documented, so the author's like interjecting what she thinks might have occurred. A book set in the perspective of Van Gogh. I am there. I was there 20 minutes ago. It just talks about the power of art and his life, and I'm so happy I found this because I think it's going to be fantastic, and if it's not, I'll let you know, but this just sounds like the bee's knees. This next book, I'm just gonna do a little name drop and then we can move on. I got my dad a late Christmas present, so he's getting this book about Reagan. This is his favorite author. Okay, we can move on. Next is a new adult book. It's called Caged in Winter by Brighton Walsh. On Twitter a while ago, I was asking for new adult or romance recommendations recommendations that were diverse and they weren't abusive or anti-feminist, because God knows that's what the genre is inundated with. And this was one of the recommendations that I received. So this book's about a girl named Winter who's just about to graduate college, and she's a very independent woman. She wants to do everything for herself. She doesn't need a man in her life, you know, like the rest of us. It follows her relationship with Cade, who's a chef. I don't know, just the fact that in the synopsis it would assert like she doesn't need a man, it's fine. I just think it's gonna be a much better read than the new adult books I've been picking up, so I have hope in this one. But maybe it's nasty and tragic, I don't know. But it was on there for like $4, so I was like, we'll try it. The next book was also an impulse buy, but I couldn't not get it. This book is called The Average American Male by Chad Kultgen. I looked this up on Amazon because I was skeptical about it and I wanted to read the first couple of pages, and wow. It's supposed to be a satire of how men think and perceive the world, so the entire book is little chapters and stories that take place from this perspective of guys, like objectifying women and just being nasty, I guess, kind of to put into perspective what that's like and the effects that it has and just the infuriating quality of how men perceive the world sometimes. I read the first page and I was like, so I could not get it. It's everything to me. A book criticizing the way that men think about women? Yes, please. The next book I have to show you is Marley's Ghost by David Levithan and Brian Selznick. Why was I not told about this book? These are literally two of my favorite authors and I had no idea they collaborated. Is this recent? If this isn't recent, it's signed. I didn't even know it was signed. Okay, keep calm. This was published in 2006. How have I never heard of this book? The cover on Book Outlet was different, which I'm a little bit salty about, but this book is a collaboration between two of my favorite authors of all time. David Levithan is an amazing storyteller, and Brian Selznick just draws the best things in the world, and he creates storylines masterfully. If this book isn't 5 stars, I'm selling all of my books and moving to Canada. I'm stoked for that book. I have no clue what it's about, didn't even look at the synopsis. I just saw the two authors and I was like, in the cart, get in the cart. This next book I have is also a new adult book that I was recommended, that same Twitter post thing I mentioned. This one's called Upside Down by Leah Riley. People were saying the Off the Map series, which is what this is like the bee's ankles. I need to stop that, but it's not even a good pun. One person mentioned this series and like 10 other people were like, you have to read that, so I guess it's good. I'm still really eager to read romance books that don't make me want to plunge a knife into my heart, so you know. I just skimmed the synopsis to try and give you something about what this is about, and it's about a girl named Natalia who goes on a 6-month foreign exchange trip to Melbourne, and it's about her meeting a dude named Bran, and I guess you know what's gonna happen. This next book I have I also bought just because I saw one name on it and I was like, she's mine. This is a book called How to Ruin Everything by George Watsky. It's a book of essays. I don't know anything about George Watsky. This cover's pretty interesting. The reason why I bought it is because Lin-Manuel Miranda blurbed it. That's all I need to hear. This literally could be about like rocket science and the cure for cancer and other boring scientific stuff that I would never want to read, but it has Lin-Manuel's name on it, so I'm gonna read it. And it's super short, so I mean, if I hate it, at least it'll go by fast. Next book I have is Knots and Crosses by Mallory Blackman. This is a very like adult hardback looking edition. So this book's synopsis is tricky and I don't know the entire picture, so stick with me. This book is defined as a thriller, but it's in a very alternate world where they define people by their skin color as knots and crosses. In our world throughout history, it's always been that there's white supremacy and primarily black slavery, but in this it is flipped. So all of those racial stereotypes and I guess the history of which races have been oppressed and which tend to be the supremes is reversed in this book. Sorry if I worded that super weirdly, but that's the gist of this book, and I heard about this several years ago and I've always had my eye on it just because I thought it would be a little bit eye-opening, and now I finally have a copy of it and I'm excited to see what this is all about because I've heard very mixed reviews on this. I think it might end up being a very enlightening read. The next book I have is In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park, which is one that I've had my eye on for so long. This is a memoir about a girl who escaped North Korea, and that's all I have to say. I think it's just very powerful, I hear, and she's an excellent writer. I know next to nothing about North Korea. I've never read a memoir about anyone who's escaped, so I just think that this book, informative wise, is going to be very important for me to read, but also I just hear the storytelling in it is great because I'd seen it floating around Book Outlet for a while, but I could never get my hands on it before it sold out. So finally I grabbed it while I could, and I'm very excited that I have it. So I did a couple of books for trade this month, and I'm going to discuss those. This first one is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, which I've already read. I own the entire trilogy and the graphic novel, and I have reviews up for a couple of them, I think. We're reading this for one of my classes this semester, and I was like, yeah, boy. So many memes just happened. I'm so sorry. I wanted to get a paperback edition that we're reading, and so that I can mark in it and write essays based off of it. I am ecstatic to be reading this for class because I love my professor. I loved the book. It's supposed to be this horror book, but it's also historical fiction, but it's also paranormal, and it's just, if you have not read this book yet and you think you won't like it, you will. Read it. It's so good. And the second trade I did was from Carlotta, whose name reminds me of Phantom of the Opera, so I was very excited about that. But we traded, and she gave me a copy of Winter. I have read this book, I listened to it on audiobook, and I just needed it for my shelf, so this will promptly be going into storage. It's not even a joke. Like, all my books right now are in storage. I'm not going to go into my spiel about how I think the Lunar Chronicles is overhyped. Maybe I'll do a video on overhyped books, but that's how I'm feeling. I would consider this a book for trade, but in reality, my friend just told me I could have this, so I was like, cool. I think I might have hauled this before too, so whoops. I got This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. All I know is that this book has monsters in it, and everyone loves Victoria Schwab, so I was like, I want that. I follow all the trends. Victoria Schwab is a trend. I'll follow it. This book I got from Amazon for class. The entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. Kill me. At first I was excited to read this, and this is the reason why I took the classes. I thought it would be interesting. It was a good concept, but as soon as he said, alrighty class, now read this in 2 weeks, I was like, the beginning was great. Excellent. Then there's just info dumps for the entire middle of the book, then the end is great, but everything in between. I just finished Fellowship of the Ring for class last night, and so we're gonna start the next two. I've heard the next two aren't as info dumpy. I just thought it was so cool when they were traveling and doing all their good stuff, but then it started to be like, the reason why the ring, and I'm just like, I don't care. I spent money on that, unfortunately. So I have 2 things to unpackage, but they go together. Oh my god, speaking of V.E. Schwab, I have the other one up there. Hold on. So if you live under a rock, this series by V.E. Schwab, A Darker Shade of Magic, everyone's obsessed with this series. I haven't read this one yet, but I have not heard one single bad thing. So I got an email saying, hey, do you want to help us promote a cool thing? That's exactly what the email said. And I went, yeah boy. I got sent a copy of the second book in this series, which is A Gathering of Shadows, which again, still haven't read this one, so why? It was free, that's why. But once again, I have not heard one single bad thing about this trilogy. I mean, the third one's not out yet, but this is a series that is really diverse. There's a gender fluid character, there's LGBTQIA spectrum characters, it's set in an alternate universe London. I don't know why I haven't read it yet, but the reason why I'm hauling it and the reason why we're talking today is because of this tube. Time to somehow unbox this. How is life so hard? That was satisfying. Oh, is there another one? What? Oh, that's just a piece of paper. I was like, that's small. Hello, my love. I need you. We have to show you off to other people. The third book in this series is called A Conjuring of Light, and that comes out on February 21st. Therefore, they're running a pre-order incentive. If you pre-order the third book, which I just mentioned, you will receive one of these bad babies that's not upside down. One of these bad babies. This is a book hugger, or it could be a book poster if you really want it to be, but yours is gonna be signed. Mine's just a prototype. They're called book huggers because you put your books in here, and then it wraps around them, and you've got a little box set-ish thing. But yes, I know a lot of people rave about this series, so if you're one of the people that has already pre-ordered that book, get a free poster. It can also be a hat. Oh, this is a look. I look like I'm about to go milk a cow or something. A Conjuring of Milk. I hate myself. We're going. It's over. I'm looking at the email this was sent in, and there is a trilogy title for it. It's called the Shades of Magic series. It might not even be a trilogy. My specialty is giving you wrong information. Okay, I've gone on about it enough. If you're interested, go pre-order it. If you've already spent the money on the pre-order, might as well get a free signed poster or book hugger. And thank you, Tor, for offering me a free book and a free poster. Next, I got this package in the mail. This is my publisher sent me things section of the video. As soon as I opened the box and saw Wayfarer, I was like, wow, what's gonna be in this? I have no idea. I did read Passenger. I got an arc of it from them last year, but I wasn't the biggest fan of it, so I don't know if I'm gonna be... I just had a hiccup. I don't know if I'm gonna be reading this one, but they sent me some cool stuff, so I want to show it off. First of all is this pair of sunglasses. Yeah, boy. Next is this, which I ripped the box of because I wanted it so bad. Relatable. And it is my own sand timey thing. Hourglass. This is real glass. I feel like I'm gonna break it, so I've been keeping this in here. And finally we've got our actual novel. The back of it. Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken. This is the second book and I believe a trilogy. No, it's a duology. Conclusion to the Passenger series. So this is a duology. It's time travel, it's interracial relationship, and diverse cast of characters. I'm just not a fan of Alexandra Bracken's writing. I'm gonna bet you so much monies this book could be half the size it is, just because Alexandra Bracken writes and writes and writes and writes, and I'm like, get to the point. Just the length of her books compared to what the actual plot is, I'm like, you could tone it down 1,000. But I know there's so many people that were anticipating this sequel and or conclusion, I guess, to the series. And it does have a beautiful cover, so thank you for sending this my way and thinking of me. I'll be keeping it on my bookshelf to see if I want to give it a go. I received this box randomly in the mail and I already opened it because when have I ever unboxed something for you on camera? Never. Good answer. So you open it and I already went through it, so I'm missing the tag that says the book title on it. Oh god. Oh, here it is. Here. I'm gonna pretend like I haven't opened this before. What's in here? Oh look, it has a little paper on top. It says, will you be our Valentine? So then you pull back this paper and you're like, oh. So first of all in here there's this heart and it has candy in it. But I'm not going to show you what's in it because I've literally eaten all of it. It's just adorable. I love it. And then also on the inside we have the actual product they've sent me. So here's just a couple of fun postcards and paper inserts dealing with the book. But the book that I have to show you today is When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. This is an Own Voices novel about an Indian girl who's in a contemporary arranged marriage, which sounds interesting, to say the least. There have been so many rave reviews out about this already. It features just a brown girl having the time of her life on the cover, which is amazing representation. I'm all about this book. The author is absolutely sweet too, and I'm very, very excited to give this one a whirl. Lit over this book. It's gonna be so good. Now I can finish the rest of this chocolate and not feel guilty about not having shown it in a video yet. And now the last book is also where our giveaway comes into play. I know, you probably just skipped all the way through the video to get here, or maybe you didn't. Congratulations, thank you. The last book I have to haul, I'll let you guys go soon, is Girl Out of Water by Laura Silverman. This is a contemporary book that comes out in May, and it's about a girl named Anise who lives in Santa Cruz. She loves to surf, she has all her friends, she has her California lifestyle all carved out for her. But then her aunt from Nebraska breaks both of her legs, and so she and her dad have to go fly to Nebraska. She has to take care of her aunt and her cousins over the summer break instead of doing all the fun stuff she wanted to do. She meets a boy named Lincoln who's a skater boy. This book has been getting rave reviews. I've been following this author on Twitter for several months now and I think she is just amazing. If any of her passion and brains comes through with this book, it's just going to be incredible. It's on a lot of my friends' most anticipated lists as well, and I'm very excited to have my own arc of it. But more exciting than me having an arc of it is you having an arc of it. I realized holding up, it looks like the same copy, but I have two of them! Laura and I decided to collaborate and she wanted to be able to give one of my subscribers a copy or an arc of her book. Laura's just an incredible author, and even though I have not read this book yet, I'll have a review up soon for it, and I am ecstatic that this book is finally going to be out in the world. There are really no requirements for this giveaway, and it's open internationally, so anyone can enter. The only thing I ask is to have like a little bit of courtesy and like subscribe to my channel or follow me on Twitter if you want. On the Rafflecopter link I'll have down below for the competition. Competition, what is this? It's a giveaway. The only entry you need is to put your email in or your Facebook just so I can contact you, but there's optional links to be subscribed to my channel and then to follow me and Laura on Twitter. Again, this is open to all ages, all countries. The giveaway will end 1 week from when this video is posted. I don't know why I'm still holding this up. If you're interested in the book, definitely give that giveaway a peek. Go follow us on Twitter if you haven't already. But after that, we're all done. Thanks so much for sticking around for another blasphemously long video. Blasphemously is probably not a word. I just used it. I hope that you all are having a productive school year so far. If you're not in school, bless you. Hope you're having a nice work week or gap year or retirement. If I missed anything, let me know. Thank you everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye!